Noreen and welcome to my kitchen and another episode of The Holidays Are Coming. Today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious flaky crescent roll. Now I know we all grew up with the crescent rolls in a tube and I know that a lot of us still love them. Guilty as charged. But I am frightened by the amount of ingredients that are in those, and although they are a convenient item and I totally get that, if you could make your own and you knew they would be delicious and you knew they were easy, would you try and make them? Today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious and easy flaky crescent roll, and it's going to take few ingredients that I know you already have in your kitchen. Let's go see how they're made. Go over the ingredients and then we're going to start building our dough. What you're going to need are 4 cups of all-purpose flour. You may need a little bit more than that after we get things mixed up. We're going to need a cup of milk that has been warmed. We're going to need 2 eggs. We're going to need 3/4 of a cup or a stick and a half of butter, and you need 1/4 of a cup to go in your dough. I have softened that. This I'm just going to let soften at room temperature because we're going to need to melt it later. We're going to need 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, a tablespoon of instant yeast, and a teaspoon of salt. And I'll take a moment and explain the yeast. I use instant yeast exclusively. I use SAF instant yeast. This yeast does not need to be proofed. It can be added directly to the recipe and it will rise every time. If you are using anything else like a dry active yeast, you are going to need to proof that first, which means you're going to have to put some sugar and your yeast in your liquid, and you're going to mix it up and you're going to let it sit for 10 minutes. If it gets warm and foamy, then you'll know your yeast is working, and then you can just add it to the rest of the recipe. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. This is a really easy recipe and you're going to love it. You're not going to believe how easy these are to make. Now I have my warm milk into the pot, and I'm going to put my yeast in there and my sugar. Then I'm going to break my eggs in. Then I'm just going to take my little whisk and I'm going to give these a little bit of a stir because I want to break up those yolks and I want to get everything kind of incorporated. You don't have to do this. You can just leave them in there. It's going to mix up fine. And try and make sure that your eggs are at room temperature as well, because it's going to make everything a little bit happier. I'm going to put 1/4 of a cup of the butter in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and dump my flour in. And my salt on top. I always put my salt in last because I don't want my salt and my yeast to mix too soon. Otherwise you can run the risk of the salt ruining your yeast. Okay, I'm going to pull my mixer on over here and we'll be back in just a second. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn this on low to mix it. You want the dough to mix, you want all the flour to incorporate, and you'll see it starting to pull in from the sides. You're going to want to pay close attention to how wet the dough is after all the flour is incorporated. So I'll be back when all of this is incorporated and we'll have a look. Alright. I'm going to turn this off so you don't have to listen to it. But I want you to see that you'll notice in the bottom of this bowl there is no stickiness. This dough is not sticking to the bottom of the bowl, and as you see it rolling around the side of the bowl, it is picking back up on itself, and that's exactly what you want. So we're going to go ahead and continue to knead this for 5 minutes. I'm going to continue kneading this dough for 5 minutes, and we'll be back when it's time to move on. Alright, our dough has kneaded for 5 minutes and it's nice and smooth and it's really beautiful. I'm just going to take the hook out here. Show it to you. Oh, it smells incredible, I have to say. Just get your dough out of here. I'm going to just scrape all the stuff off the side. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just super smooth and it's soft, but it's not sticky. It's really a beautiful dough, and that's because it's got eggs and butter and milk in it. This is a beautiful, beautiful buttery dough. So what I'm going to do, like I always do, I'm going to spray the bowl. I'm going to put the dough in the bowl. I'm going to spray the dough. And I'm going to put a bonnet on it. A lot of people ask me where I get these bonnets. I get them at the beauty supply store. They come in a package of 100. They're about $6, and you can use them for a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. I'm going to stick this on the back of my stove because that's where it's warmest in my kitchen. I'm going to let this rise for about an hour, and then when we come back, we'll show you how to make crescents. Right, it has been just over an hour. I took a phone call, I had a little bit of a meeting, and now we're getting ready to, you can see our dough has definitely doubled in size, probably more than that, which is good because we're developing all that yeasty flavor and we're getting nice little air bubbles in there, meaning that the yeast did its job and everybody's happy. So with clean hands, we're going to deflate our dough. And it's just pillowy and beautiful. Oh my goodness, this dough is beautiful. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get this out of here. And you can see it's so nice. It feels so nice. All right. I want to divide this in two, and all I'm going to do is get it and pinch it. You can cut it. It doesn't matter. Just divide it in two as evenly as possible. Make two balls of dough. As even as you can. You don't have to get out your scale. You just have to use your eyeballs, and those are pretty even. So I'm going to put that one over there, and I'm just going to let it hang out for a while. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of dough, and you can use a floured board if you like, or you can roll it out, because I need to measure this, and it needs to be approximately 16 inches in diameter. This pizza pan, I know, this pizza pan is a 16-inch pizza pan, so I don't know how well this is going to work, but we're going to see. So we're going to roll this out, and we'll be back as soon as that is finished. All right. After you get your dough rolled out into an approximate circle, full disclosure, I took it off this pan, put it on my board, did not flour it, rolled it out to the approximate size, put it back on the pan, and pressed it into kind of a rudimentary circle. It all works. It's okay because this wide part isn't going to be seen. It's going to be the inside part of the roll, so it's okay. Take your pizza cutter or your pastry wheel and cut this. You see, I have it in 8 pieces now, but what you want to do is cut it into 16. Just like that. Before you cut these, spread this whole thing with a couple of tablespoons of butter, all right? Don't do like I did and cut them first, but I messed up so you don't have to, all right? Because I put my butter over here and I wasn't paying attention and I was excited about showing you how to do this. So this is what happens, people. Then you take it and you roll it up. A little bit neater than I have, okay? And you can turn it out and put it on your baking sheet. We'll try this again. Okay? And then just let it hang out. Roll up your others, roll out your other dough, cut it up, do what I did, spread it with butter, then cut it. We'll be back when we're ready to move on to the next step. Okay, before we move on, I wanted to just give you a couple little tips. When you go to roll this, I want you to take this wide end and I want you to stretch it out a little more than you think you should. And then I want you to start rolling it, and I want you to keep it really tight and roll it and pull it back on itself and roll it and pull it back on itself. And you'll see, kind of twist it and roll it and twist it and roll it until you get it exactly the way you want it. That's how they form a traditional croissant. Not like, you know, like French croissant, but yes, like a French croissant. Pull it wide, and then kind of stick it into itself and start rolling. Pull it and roll, pull and roll, pull and roll. Twist it and pull it all the way down. And when you put it on the pan, make sure this little tiny end is on the bottom. Okay, so then we move that out of the way. We have this pan, and we have its brother, which has already started to rise. Let me grab my little pastry brush, honey. Now we're going to take that other 1/4 pound of butter and our pastry brush. These are butter croissants. Let's not forget that. And we're going to brush these with butter. We're going to let these hang out for about 20 minutes. And then when they're ready to go in the oven, we'll bring you back and we'll show you what they look like. These are ready to go in the oven. I'm going to go ahead and put this pan down here and this pan up here. 15 to 18 minutes. We hope they don't bake open, and we'll be back when they're ready to come out. All right. I set these for 7 minutes, and then I came back and I switched them. The trays, I put the top one on the bottom and vice versa, just so that they wouldn't get overdone either way, or underdone on the top, as the case may be.
Only a couple baked open.
Yeah, it's going to happen. They're not all going to be perfect, but that's what homemade is all about. Now you're going to take the rest of that melted butter, because these are butter croissants, and we're going to just brush these lightly again with more butter, because more butter, more better. Okay, so we'll be back in just a few minutes. Right, these have cooled off enough to give them a try. We're almost out the door to go celebrate Micah's birthday, so I just wanted to show you what they look like. You can pull them apart, and they're absolutely gorgeous on the inside. They're soft and fluffy. That center part, I'll open.
Oh, wow.
They're just, oh wow, they're gorgeous.
Yep.
You don't need to put any butter on them. They're so loaded with butter, they're delicious. Oh, Oh, they're really good. My recommendation to you, though, only bake 1 pan at a time. And I said 400 degrees earlier. That's too hot. 350 all the way. Okay, moderate oven. They're beautiful and they're perfect, but I think I would bake them at a lower temperature. So, give these buttery, flaky crescent rolls a try for your Thanksgiving or Christmas table. You're going to love them, and you're going to find yourself making them all the time. They're so easy, and they're so much better for you than the ones in the tube. I know that they're delicious, but when you can make something from scratch, especially at the holidays, I think you should try and go for it. So, I hope you try these crescent rolls, and I hope that you love them. And until next time, I'll see ya. Thank you for joining me in my kitchen today. I hope you liked what you watched today, and I hope that you try it, and I hope that you love it. If you like what you saw, please consider hitting the thumbs up button and giving me a positive rating. And also, make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you're already not a subscriber, so that you don't miss out on any of the fun we have here in our kitchen every single day. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm really glad that you're here. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to come by tomorrow. Until next time, happy eating!